Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hey there, kids. How are you doing? Welcome to today's class. Now, today is a start to a new course, and I am so excited to have you here because this course is going to be a very, very, very exciting course that we have here. Now, this course is going to be all about the accidental inventions that were made over time and history. And today's class is going to be about two really, really, really loved toys by us that were accidental inventions. Now, before we go ahead and get started with the two toys that we're going to be talking about, as well as the drawing and the coloring of it, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the certificate program as well as a little bit about your submissions. Now, coming to your certificate program, like you all know, you're going ahead and getting certificates for the work that you're going ahead and doing. Just a couple of things to remember. Firstly, make sure to go ahead and attend all of your classes. So, for example, this course is going to have 4 classes, so make sure to attend all of the 4 classes. The second thing that you have to go ahead and remember is to do all of your submissions. Make sure you're going ahead and doing all of the 4 submissions of any particular course. Let's say you have this is a 4-part course, so do 4 submissions. If you are doing a 6-part course, then go ahead and do all of the 6 submissions. So automatically then at the end you will end up getting a certificate. Now, apart from the certificate program submissions, I want to go ahead and talk to you about your submissions in general. Now, a lot of the times you might not end up doing really, really well, and some days we might end up doing just here and there. But irrespective of that, I keep urging you to go ahead and do your submissions, and that's exactly what I want to go ahead and tell you now as well. Make sure you go ahead and do your submission irrespective of how you have done on a certain day. Some days may be good days, some days may be bad days, some days might be average days, but whatever you've gone ahead and done on that day, make sure you go ahead and submit your work, because as a teacher, what I am looking at is your progress. So maybe one day you've done something, the next day you've done something, the third day you've done something. I am looking at small changes that you're going ahead and making with your work, and I'm looking at the progress you're going ahead and making. So make sure to go ahead and do your submission so that I can see it. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about today's class. Like I mentioned, we're going ahead and going to be talking about 2 accidental inventions. The first accidental invention we're going to be going ahead and talking about is that of the Rubik's Cube. And the second accidental invention that we're going to be going ahead and talking about is a play-doh. Now I'm going to be going ahead and telling you what both of these are, what toys they basically are, and I'm going to then go ahead and tell you how they were accidentally invented and when they were accidentally invented. So it's basically going to be sort of like a story time for you guys, as well as a little bit of drawing on this side. So let's go ahead and get started first with the list of materials that you need for today's class. So the first thing that you need for today's class is going to be a sheet of a paper. Here you can see I have a sketchbook or a journal book with me. Now you can go ahead and take anything that you have with you. You can go ahead and take a sketchbook. You can go ahead and take a journal book. You can go ahead and take a loose drawing sheet of paper. You can go ahead and take an A4 size sheet of paper. Go ahead and take any good sheet of paper that you have with you. The next thing that you'll need for today's class is going to be a pencil. Now have a pencil for you to go ahead and draw with. Make sure you have a good dark pencil to go ahead and draw with. The next thing that you'll need for today's class is going to be a marker. Here I have a black color marker that I'm going to be going ahead and working with. The next thing that you'll need for today's class is going to be some form of color medium. Here I have a bunch of color pencils. You can go ahead and take crayons. You can go ahead and take color pencils like I have, sketch pens if you want to go ahead and use, soft pastels, oil pastels, paints, whatever you want to go ahead and take, you can go ahead and take. Now let's go ahead and get started with the first topic that I have here, or the first story that I have here, which is that of the Rubik's Cube. Now let me give you first an introduction of what the Rubik's Cube is. We can then draw it and then discuss the story behind it. Now what is the Rubik's Cube? Now the Rubik's Cube is basically a cube which ends up having six phases on one side. So if you've ever seen a Rubik's Cube, you go ahead and it's basically a cube and it has six phases, and each phase basically has a nine boxes in it, and all of those nine boxes will be of different colors. Now the six phases basically have six different colors, and depending on whichever modern Rubik's cubes you've gone ahead and seen, they have tend to have different colors. So the traditional Rubik's cube tends to have the primary colors with a few extra added colors, but modern day Rubik's cubes, you also have purple, you also have pink, you have many beautiful colors that it comes in. Now, a traditional Rubik's Cube, the idea basically is that it's a toy puzzle. So what basically happens with it is you have a whole toy that you can go ahead and turn. So the idea is that all of the colors are going to be jumbled up, and what you have to basically go ahead and do is you have to go ahead and keep turning it in a certain way, or learn the technique of how you go ahead and turn it in order to get the cube right at the end, wherein all of the faces of the colors are same in the end. Now the Rubik's Cube has now become something that is even played as a sport. It's basically how fast you can go ahead and get all of the colors to match, and you get competitions and things like that that exist. So I'm not too sure if your school has it, but I do know that Uolo has a lot of Rubik's Cubes classes as well going on. So make sure you check that out, so you'll get a better idea of what the Rubik's Cube is. Now let's go ahead and draw a Rubik's Cube, and then I'll go ahead and share my story of the Rubik's Cube. So firstly, let's go ahead and start off by taking our pencil. I'm going ahead and drawing first a sort of a diamond on top. Now you can go ahead and draw a big diamond or a small diamond, the way you like it. I'm just going ahead and doing this with a pencil so that it makes it easier, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw it with a marker later. So just going ahead and drawing my diamond. Then I'm going ahead and drawing a line straight down, and I'm going to go ahead and do a line slanting as well as a slanting. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm going ahead and basically drawing a simple cube. So as you can see, really simple. So gone ahead and done my cube. I'm just going to wait here for a second, making sure all of you have gone ahead and finished this up. Perfect, everybody. Really well done. All right. So next what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and take my scale, and I'm going to go ahead and start outlining this out completely. Now first what I'm doing here is I'm going ahead and making all of my lines of the cube perfect. So I don't want it to be going ahead and being wrong in any way, because if my lines are perfect, then automatically the boxes that I do in each phase of each cube will be perfect as well. So here you can go ahead and take a black black color marker if you have one. If you do not have one and you have any form of a black that you can go ahead and do an outline with, then go ahead and use that. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and start drawing the boxes of each face. So since I have the top line, I'm using that as a reference, and I'm going ahead and doing the lines neatly. So as you can see, getting all of my lines as parallel as possible. If you find this a little hard to do by yourself or using a scale, then you can obviously go ahead and do this freehand as well. But if you want to go ahead and use your scale but you're having a hard time, go ahead and ask your mom, your brother, your sister, a parent, whoever is basically there with you, to guide you a little bit. Go ahead and take their help and try doing this as good as you can. Perfect. Excellent job, everybody. Really well done. Amazing work. So now I've gone ahead and finished up my parallel lines. I'm now going to go ahead and draw a few standing lines in order to create my 9 boxes, like I said, or 9 cubes that I have as part of every side of a Rubik's cube. So as you can see, done with the 2 sides. Perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on top. So 1, 2, and on the other side 3 and 4. Perfect. All right. Now, in order to go ahead and color this out, you can go ahead and color this in any manner. If you feel like going ahead and coloring one side, one color, like how I am doing it, you can definitely go ahead and do that. But if you feel no, you want to go ahead and do multiple colors on multiple, boxes, like how a normal Rubik's Cube would look if it's jumbled up, then you can go ahead and do the same as well. Now, this drawing portion and coloring portion, don't worry if you're still a little behind me, because when I go ahead and tell you this story, you can obviously go ahead and continue coloring as well as a drawing. Here I'm just finishing it up so that you have a reference to go ahead and look at while I continue giving you my story. So I did red on one side, the other side I'm going ahead and doing blue, and my final side I'll go ahead and do yellow. You can go ahead and do, like I mentioned, any colors that you like. If you want to go ahead and do pink, orange, purple, whatever you like, go ahead and do it. Perfect, everybody. Really, really, really well done. Good job. Excellent work. And now I'm taking my yellow and I'm doing my top portion of it. All right. So while I'm doing my yellow and while I see all of you going ahead and drawing and coloring, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about the story behind the Rubik's Cube. Now, the Rubik's Cube was created by a person called Erno Rubik. His name, and he was born basically in 1944. Now, he basically invented the Rubik's Cube in 1977. Now, the Rubik's Cube basically is something that is an accidental invention, like I mentioned earlier. It was not supposed to be a toy, or it wasn't supposed to be a puzzle, what it is in today's day and age. So basically, he was a sculptor as well as an engineer who was working for the government. So his basic concept and idea was to go ahead and create some form of mechanism wherein individual cubes and boxes could go ahead and move around without falling apart from each other. So the idea was to create a Rubik's Cube, idea was to go ahead and create what it is today. But his invention wasn't supposed to be a puzzle, or it wasn't supposed to be something that someone could play with, or something that people would get appealed by. It was just a basic simple engineering design that he wanted to go ahead and create. Now once he went ahead and created the Rubik's Cube, he actually went ahead and called it the magic cube, because it had different colors, and it went ahead and had different pieces. Now, when he invented the Rubik's Cube, he actually himself didn't know how to go ahead and solve it because there were different colors all around, but he didn't know how to go ahead and get all of the faces of the Rubik's Cube right in, its order, like how it is right here. So he probably spent a bunch of days or a bunch of weeks trying to figure out how to go ahead and do this. And then he realized that this could also be called the Rubik's Cube, which is also known as the Magic Cube, which could be something that people could play with, and it could be something that people could enjoy, and people could go ahead and work around with. So in 1977, a toy company basically went ahead and collaborated with Rubik's, and they went ahead and manufactured multiple thousands of Rubik's Cube, which basically became the toy of this generation. It is something that exists in today's day and age. So think about how something simple, something that was supposed to be, an engineering invention, it wasn't supposed to be a toy, basically went ahead and became a Rubik's Cube. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the second story that we have, which is that of Play Doh. Now, Play Doh is basically the American version of, that slimy clay that you have that you go ahead and play with. It was basically invented in the US, and the actual version or the actual toy name is Play Doh, but we do have several versions of Play Doh, in different names in India. The company that sells Play Doh in India is called Fun School, and it basically comes in this sort of yellow color jar, and it is basically this kind of putty that you go ahead and play this. So it's called sort of like a dough, it's sort of like a clay that you go ahead and play with, and it's really fun to go ahead and play with. So let's go ahead and draw that, and then I'll tell you the story behind Play-Doh. So for this, I'm going ahead and taking my pencil, and I'm going ahead and drawing the box of the Play-Doh. So first I'm going ahead and just drawing two lines coming down, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the cylinder curve part at the bottom, and as well as the top. Now the top, I want it to be sort of like the dhakkan or the lid of it. So I'm going ahead and just drawing an oval, and then I'm drawing two straight lines, and again I'm going ahead and drawing an oval. Now, this basically gives sort of like the idea that there's a lid. And then, in order to make it a little better, I'm going ahead and also adding in a label and drawing in sort of like a design to be sort of like the name. Now, finally, to finish it up, I'm going ahead and drawing a Play-Doh right outside. So this is just going ahead and drawing such sort of like a wiggly part, like if someone has gone ahead and played with it. Now then I'm going ahead and taking a black color marker, and I'm going ahead and outlining my box of the Play-Doh. Now the original Play-Doh box basically is a yellow color box with the label as well as the lid being the color of the dough that is there inside. So you can go ahead and do whatever color lid as well as label you want to go ahead and do. Since I went ahead and used blue, green, yellow and red in my Rubik's Cube, I went ahead and decided to do my label as well as my lid green, and I went ahead and also wanted to go ahead and do the dough itself green as well. So here I'm first going ahead and outlining everything. Now take your time to go ahead and outline everything as well as color it, because you want it to look as neat as you can make it. So make sure to go ahead and work with it really well. Perfect. So here, like I mentioned, I'm taking a little bit of yellow, and then I'm going ahead and coloring it out. Perfect, everybody. Really well done. Amazing work. Good job. Really well done, everybody. Perfect. So I've gone ahead and done yellow. Now I'm taking green. Like I mentioned, you can go ahead and take any color of your choice for this. Perfect. Good job, everybody. Really well done. So going ahead and doing my green on top as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and take the same green and I'm doing it for my dough as well. You can go ahead and do multiple colors as well. A lot of play-dohs in modern day and age tend to have a lot of colors. You come in galaxy colors, you have in bubblegum colors, you have so many different colors. So if you want to go ahead and change up the colors, that is also totally acceptable. Make sure you just make it look really nice and beautiful. Perfect, guys. Good job. Really well done. Now, while you go ahead and continue doing this, let me go ahead and tell you the story behind Play-Doh. So Play-Doh was basically invented in the year 1955, but it became officially known Play-Doh only in 1955. It was something that existed very, well before 1955, but it existed for a completely different reason. It wasn't a toy or it wasn't something that people went ahead and played with. So what was Play-Doh exactly? So Play-Doh was basically something sort of like a dough, sort of like a putty that was used to go ahead and clean the walls. So when you went ahead and painted the walls, or when you went ahead and did wallpapering over the walls, or when you went ahead and did tiling over the walls, when the house was ready, there was a lot of soot or a lot of lint or a lot of dirt or a lot of bacteria, and a lot of these small particles like sand and things like that that was stuck to the wall. So when there was so much, that was stuck to the wall, they wanted to go ahead and start cleaning it out. So in order to clean it out, they needed to figure out a way to do so. So the invention of the Play-Doh was basically made for that. It was some sort of putty or dough that they went ahead and rolled over the wall. When they went ahead and rolled over the wall, it kind of picked up all of the dirt, and it sort of picked up all of that, that was there. Now, what happened over time was, it was an invention that was used for many years. But over time, what happened was that this dough became something that people didn't want to use anymore, because there were different inventions or newer inventions that came in. For example, you had like the vacuum cleaner that came in, so you could just go ahead and vacuum off the dirt from the wall. So automatically, the dough was not in use anymore. So then they were trying to figure out that, okay, we don't use this anymore, so what do we do? So the person who invented it, his sister-in-law, really liked playing with the dough, and she used to give it to her children to go ahead and play with, and they really enjoyed it. They found it something that they could go ahead and play with. It was something that they could go ahead and build small sculptures with. It was something that they could go ahead and create small toys with. They could go ahead and do so much with it. Now, looking at his sister-in-law and looking at his nephew and niece, he realized that he wants to go ahead and make it a toy. So then he went ahead and met with a toy company and gave them the idea, pitched the idea of the invention of the Play-Doh, and they absolutely loved the idea, and they went ahead and manufactured so much Play-Doh in these kind of yellow containers in different colors. Now, even Play-Doh, as the smell that it has is a very sweet and pleasant smell, and it's something that reminds all of us of our childhood. You also would have played with some form of Play-Doh in the past, and it is really fun to go ahead and play with, and it became an amazing hit. So, really well done, everybody. I can see all of your work. You've done so good. Now, since you've all done such an amazing job, I am so proud of you. Really well done. So good. Now, like I mentioned, we've gone ahead and spoken about two inventions today. We've gone ahead and spoken about Play-Doh, as well as we've gone ahead and spoken about the Rubik's Cubes. I told you about the stories of it. I made you go ahead and do a beautiful drawing of the two, and I went ahead and told you what the toy is. If you've gone ahead and played with the Rubik's Cube, or you've gone ahead and Play-Doh, let me know about it. I would like to know what you've gone ahead and created and how much you love it. Like I mentioned, this course is going to be all about talking about more accidental inventions. So make sure you attend all of the further classes as well. Now, coming to today's submission, you've gone ahead and drawn the Rubik's Cube as well as the Play-Doh. So make sure to go ahead and click a beautiful picture and upload it. I would love to go ahead and see it. Now, coming to your certificate program, make sure you go ahead and attend attend all of your classes A, and make sure you're going ahead and doing all of your submissions so that you get a beautiful certificate right at the end. Apart from that, I keep telling you, do your submissions irrespective if you're going to get a certificate or not. It makes a huge difference as a teacher and a student to focus on improvement. Excellent work, everybody. I hope you had a fun and amazing time in today's class, because I absolutely had an amazing time. I hope to see you guys in the next class. Till then, bye bye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app